What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Youth Academy Challenge with Truro City in Football Manager 2023. It's been a tough season. This might genuinely be getting harder as we progress, and I'm worried for season 4. So, welcome back to the end of season 3 with Truro City. It's been a tough season. A lot harder than last year. But we will start on the homepage. Nothing has really changed this year. If we go to the facilities, we can see that we've gone up in our youth recruitment. We've gone up to an average youth recruitment. Bar that, nothing else has changed. They will not give me anything else. In terms of me personally, they are not adding any more coaching badges to me. I keep asking, they won't let me. So it's been a little tough. So this season we played with a new tactic. We had a very up and down season. It was a lot worse than last season. You can see all these games are very heavy in the scorelines. They're very big scorelines. I tried basically this whole 3-2-5 that I worked on. It looked really good after this. I mean, we even got a decent result with the Reading under-21s. I thought it looked pretty good here. And we got it into the league. And after the first month, I thought, well, it looks all right. Second month, I thought, yeah, it still looks all right. We'll still lose it. And then it just got worse. And we just kept losing and losing. And we got to a point where we had a little run where we didn't win anything at all. We won nothing. And in the end, I was like, right, we're getting to a point now where we're getting towards the business end of the season. We're in a relegation dogfight. We need to change things up. So I changed to a 4-2-3-1, a basic 4-2-3-1 counter fluid. It was literally as basic as it gets. It was an in-game tactic, you know what I mean? And I just adjusted a couple of the roles. That was it. That was all I did. And it managed to pull us into a point where we actually managed to survive, and we finished in 18th. Semi-finals haven't been played yet, but we finished in 18th, 51 points. That's only 5 points clear of the relegation zone, so that is a massive issue. Again, season number 3, we have dropped points. Season 1, we had 64. Season 2, we had 54, and then this season we had 51. So that tactic did not do as well as I was hoping. I thought we'd outscore a lot more, but you can see our goal difference is dreadful. And in all honesty, I don't think we actually scored as many as other teams. So we scored 79 goals, which is a lot more than those around us. But we also conceded 104. And to put it into perspective, 104 is the record. We matched the record for the most goals conceded. So that tactic didn't work. This was a tactic. I'm hoping this is going to show. Yeah, no, not this one. This was the tactic. And it didn't do as well as I thought it was going to do. So we moved back to this on this cautious fluid counter attack, and then we started picking up points, which I was very pleased with, and managed to survive. Squad wise, we have a couple of players in here, a couple of new youngsters. So Hassan was from last season, so Stuart and Chaz are both from this season. Stuart looks an absolute menace. He's going to be a superb little player as he gets older. He can use both feet to a reasonable amount. He's a striker. He's going to be relatively quick once he's grown up a little bit. Consistency we've got to work on, but apart from that, he looks like he could be Lewis Rooney's potential replacement in the near future, or at least I hope so, because Lewis Rooney's not getting any younger, and we are heavily reliant on him this season. He scored. Where is it? Lewis Rooney. Lewis Rooney scored this season 35 goals. So when you look at our squad in terms of the goals, yeah, he scored 40. Look at the score. Look at everyone else. There is no other goals around here. Andrew Neil has 11. But apart from that, there is no other goals around. You know what I mean? We lose Rooney, we are massively in the gutter. In the gutter massively if we lose Rooney. Lewis is the main bloke that every season I will make sure he is on a contract for the next season, because if we lose him, we're in trouble. And he is now starting to decline. You can see from his numbers. I don't know whether that's shown in his progress. You can see it's very up and down, but he is on the downward trend. I am very, very nervous about how we're going to do once he leaves. So I'm hoping he's going to give us another couple of seasons. And once he's given us those couple of seasons, a couple of these youngsters that are around, I'm talking more like Connell Dick, who is now up to 2.5 star. He is playing very well. I'm hoping he's going to start chipping in. Now he's playing in this more advanced role. I'm hoping Jack Johnson's going to appear and start scoring a couple of goals. You know what I mean? We need Stuart Walker has to become one of our best players. He needs the game time while Lewis is out injured and stuff like that. He needs to play nearly every match just to get that bit of development going. Because otherwise we're going to be in massive trouble when Lewis goes, and that is the biggest problem at the moment. When we look at some of the other players, so we'll show you Chaz as well, because Chaz is relatively new to the squad. Again, looks relatively decent. He can play in all sorts of areas. He could be playing left back. He could be playing in the middle. He's probably going to play left back next season, but we'll just see how it goes. We haven't really got any decisions made. Jake Davis, I'm a little bit worried about. He's not progressing as well as I'd like. I don't really know what his best position is. He's got good tackling and positioning, so maybe he's going to play in a defensive midfield sort of area, because the tactic, again, is going to change ever so slightly. I want to try and make us a bit more solid at the back next season. And while the fluid counter was working, I don't think it's going to get us many goals. Ewan is playing well. I reckon he can make a step up next season. He might be able to do something next season. Tim McGrath, not really sure where he's going. He's 5'10", so although it says he can play centre back, I think he's going to be either a backup or he is going to be the main right back. I haven't really decided what's happening there either. We look at the team. We've got Corby. He came in last season. He's playing at the back. Since he came in, he's done average, very average. He's been relatively poor looking at his form. Average rate is 6.48, 6.57 overall. But he is very young. He's only, 16, 17 years old, so he's still got a long way to go, so to speak. I think he's going to go back down to the under-21s. He needs time to develop. He's not quite there yet. Hassan, he will remain back up. He is going to play for the under-21s, though. Niall, I think he's probably going to go. In all honesty, he hasn't developed. He's 19 now. He hasn't developed at all. He doesn't look like he's going to develop. I think it's going to be the end of Niall this season. Dan, I'm still not sure what's going on with him. I've kept him around for another season, and that's purely for squad depth more than anything, but you can see by his current ability and potential ability, there are players that are playing in his positions now that are better than him. If he plays up front, we've got Lewis Rooney, Andy Neal, Richie Andrew, who is a new youth prospect that can apparently play up top that I didn't notice. He might be worth a look. But we've got loads of younger players that can come and play up top, and Stuart Walker's one of them. So he's not going to play up top. Maybe he'll play in this advanced playmaker role, drop him back a little bit so his pace doesn't matter so much. And obviously, like I said, Connell Dick is pretty much the same rating as him, and is going to grow and has better mentors. So Connell Dick is going to take over that role, and Dan's probably going to play the experienced backup, so to speak. We've got a couple of other youngsters that came in last season. Toshido, he's playing relatively well. He's got a 6.8 overall, so I'm quite happy with how he's played in his first season. As a 16-year-old, he's now 17. He will be playing again next season. For sure, George Hemmings was one of the originals. I don't know what the potential of an original has, so I'm not really sure what I'm doing with George at the moment. He could play right back, which I think is where he's going to play, but I'm not sure what I'm doing with him yet. Who else have we got? Philip Murray is pretty much nailed down his starting spot in the centre back. He's got a decent amount of pace. He's very He's very tall. He's got a very strong left foot. He's got decent tackling, positioning, concentration. He just works perfectly for the back line alongside Anton from the year before. Anton, first under 20. Does it say he's got? Where can I find out if he's got? There you go, capped at under 18 level for Scotland. He's already being capped. I think he's going to be a quality player. I think he's going to get poached very soon. I can't see him being here at the end of next season. if he carries on his development the way he's going. But he may be our first international footballer, just he won't be playing for us, unfortunately. Brad Park coming in, he's going to start doing a job for us in this defensive midfield. I think he's going to do it very well. You can see he's upping in all of his stats. He's enjoying the playing time. He's got a 6.76 overall, with most of that being off the bench and also being a centre back, which I'm not playing him at centre back no more. So I think he's going to get a lot better over the last couple of games. He's had an assist. He's had a couple of decent ratings. I'm very happy with his progress. I think he's going to progress even faster now he's got that first team feel for it next season. He's going to have that first team. Patrick Carsley, one of the originals, still developing really well. He's up to a 3-star player. He's never going to make it up to his full potential. I don't think he's going to be playing in the National League, but I think he'll be playing in the Panorama South for most of his career. He looks relatively decent. He's going to play that DM role as well, a defensive midfielder role. I'm going to go with 2 DMs next season, I think, and I think he's going to play it really well. He's got some of the mentals that we need: the teamwork, the work rate, concentration, anticipation, aggression. A little bit lacking on some of his physical stats, but overall, very happy with how he's developed. Who else have we got? Let's have a look at somebody else. Ollie Bryce, one of the other originals. Nailed down his sweeper keeper defensive duties now. He is now the first choice at the club. It says he's still only a regional division player, but he made some superb saves. Unfortunately, 91 conceded in 41. I don't think that's his fault. I think that's mostly down to the tactic was being awful. Acceleration and pace, I'm not too happy with. I'd like them to go up a little bit more. But overall, he's a decent keeper, and he will be starting next season, unless Hassan has a superb amount of growth. And I do believe Hassan has the ability to go past Ollie, but for the moment, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere near the first team. In terms of the youth intake, what did we have? We had a very decent youth intake. If we have a look at the younger players, we've got Burak, who looks fairly decent. He needs some development. Not really sure where I'm going to put him. I think I'm training him as an attacking midfielder, but all this has changed. I'm a couple of weeks into the new season now, so this is a save file that I did at the start of the week. It's not the current save. The current save I have already done, and the current save I have already progressed with. Stuart Ellis, again, looks fairly decent. He's 5'7", so he's never going to be a centre back, which is unfortunate because I like some of his marking, tackling, positioning. I like some of this, and I think these sort of stats would look very good on a centre back. Apart from the heading, obviously he's going to be low because of his 5'7" height. But he is going to be trained as a right back, and hopefully he'll do a job for us there. Richie Andrews, who we've just looked at earlier on, I think I'm playing him as an advanced forward. I am training him as an advanced forward, so eventually he will make it to be back up behind, hopefully, the other lad that's in the first team that's playing back up to Lewis. We got Lewis Rees here. Hasn't got the highest of potentials, but he's got a decent current ability. Going to retrain him to play a defensive midfield role because that's what we're playing with now. So, although I have just noticed he is 5'4", so maybe defensive midfield is not the way to put him. Maybe it's time to, maybe we shove him forward a little bit more. But we'll have a look at that, see if I notice that in the other save, in the progressed save. Hugh Wood, brilliant name. Plays on the left. He is right-footed. He is definitely going to be an inverted winger on that side, and he will remain there. And he has the work rate and the off the ball and all the good stuff in the right places that potentially he could make first team. Doesn't quite have the potential required, so that is a little bit of a worry. And he is very low on his determination, which again is a little bit of a worry. Kevin Clarkson, 5'10", plays with both feet. He's going to play right across that back line in any position. Maybe not the centre back role, but right back, left back, he will be there. And he has enough potential to make it into the first team as well. And I would love to see this lad in there with this strong left and strong right foot. I think that is superb. He's got a good work rate. Could do with his speed being enhanced ever so slightly, which is what we're training him. For Chaz, we've already gone over, I believe. We have William Morrison Watts next. Not really sure what I'm doing with him. He's a bit too slow to be a winger. He's 5'10". I think eventually he's going to make his way into that central midfield. What have I... Yeah, I see. I've gone defensive midfield straight away from the off. So there is a very good chance that is what he's going to be, 6'6". Work rate's not very high, which is a little bit of a worry, so he may end up going a little bit more forward into the attacking midfield role with that passing and vision and whatever else. But again, a lot of these players are just all round decent. So it's just sort of like, well, where am I going to put them? Because I don't really know where I'm going to put them. In terms of the ones that we were using last season, Assam we've already gone over. Charlton Doe hasn't really progressed that much. He is a wing run support on the left-hand side. He needs to be retrained to be an inverted winger, but as you can see, some of his stuff is not in the right place, and it's a little worrying. He may make it, he may not. Apparently, I'm trying to train him to try and play there. I assume I've got somebody else earmarked for this role, so he is going to try and learn to play in the attacking midfield. Sam Meacham, I don't think he's going to make it. He's not developing, and his potential ability is dropping every week. Herbie Twine, never going to make it. He was one of the ones we highlighted from the start that was never going to make it. Jerry Langdown is playing relatively well, but as you can see from his development, it's only ever so slightly jumping up. I'm a little bit concerned about it. And what was it? I've got him training as a pressing forward, so he is going to play up top if he can improve some of his stats. John North playing fairly well, actually. I think he's actually progressing probably better than some of the others. As you can see, he's got a nice little jump up on his growth. Growing fairly well. I think he's also going to be a pressing forward, which obviously I will change to advanced forward as their training goes on. But I'm liking the fact that his work rate's going up, his stamina, his pace, agility. He's starting to look decent. We could do with getting his finishing up a little bit more. But John North may make it into the first team. We've already spoke about Tim. Ali Afra. I'm actually really excited about this man. Although his potential ability isn't quite that high, he seems to do really well in non-competitive. 17 goals and 31 appearances for the under 18s team. 7.28 overall. Looks a very decent player. He's potentially, when Dan disappears next season, most likely, like he's not going to be here past next season. I don't think. I think season 4 is going to be his last season. My lights just turned off. Yeah, I think season 4 will be his last season for Dan. Ali's going to come in, step in his place, and Ali will be the backup. And I'm excited. I like to see what he's going to do. After Ali, we have Casey. Again, very low potential. His current ability is not really growing that much, but I think in terms of his progress, you can see it's very up and down, very up and down. He's all over the place. I like some of his mentors, but overall, I don't think he's ever going to make it, which is unfortunate because I quite liked him as a player. Xavier Bell, again, we know he's never going to make it. We knew that last season. He's just still hanging around. He's going at the end of this season, I believe. Lee Webster, 6'2", potentially could play in the centre-back role. That's probably where I'm going to put him. But again, don't really think he's going to make it ahead of the other two we've got. He may make it if what's his name leaves. What's his name? Anton leaves. If Anton leaves, then Lee Webster might step in. Kalen looked a really good prospect at the start. Potentially, I think I even said in the end of the season one thing that he was going to become our first choice goalkeeper in the future. But with the addition of a couple of players, including our backup goalkeeper in Hassan and also the new goalkeeper up here in Steve Davey, who I don't think we spoke about. We haven't spoken about Steve Davey, Joshua Brown, or Casey Spetch, so we'll quickly go over them. But we'll start with Steve Davies. So, like I was saying, I don't think that other goalkeeper is going to become our first choice because now we've got Steve Davey as well. So we've got Ollie Bryce, we've got Steve Davey, and we've got Hassan. I don't think Steve Davies ever going to make it towards the first team. Not with the other two ahead of him as it stands. Ollie and Hassan ahead of him at the moment. But if Ollie leaves and Hassan takes over, then Steve Davey may get his chance. He's going to carry on playing. He is playing for the under-18s at the moment. He will go up to the under-21s when he develops a bit more and when Hassan makes that step up full-time to be the backup to Ollie, or if Ollie leaves. We have Joshua Brown, 6 foot, likes to play in central defence. He hasn't really got the pace and acceleration I'd like. He's not very ambitious. He's got decent positioning, tackling, heading, marking. all this decent stuff. So he may eventually make it to the first team, and he will go in alongside, probably, if these two go, then he'll probably make it in alongside Thomas Seeger, who is also developing quite nicely. Casey Spetch, I think I've got him training as a winger. Yeah, winger on support. He's not quite got the pace and acceleration, but he's 5'7", so I don't really want to put him in the middle. And he works incredibly well. He is incredibly gifted in work rate. He likes to get up and down that flank. He will do a superb job for us eventually once he comes around. So going back down here, where did we get to? We got to Kalen. So Ali, again, still holding high potential. Do I think he's going to reach it? No, I do not. He is slowly progressing, but there are just so many other players ahead of him for the left back at the moment. You've got Chaz ahead of him. I think there's somebody else ahead of him as well. Maybe he'll make it to maybe he'll make it to the under 20. In fact, he will make it to the under 21s. Who are we kidding? He will make it to the under 21s, but whether he'll ever make it to the first team, I don't know. Shane Bowen, we're not even going to look at. He's never going to make it. Neither is Ben Reynolds no more. These two are going to go when their contracts expire. Danny Reeve has dropped back down to the under 18s. I wasn't happy with how he was doing. He may make it up to the under 21s, and that's purely based on his potential ability. But at the moment, the rest of it is dreadful. I don't see him making it here. He's not really got the ability or the drive from what I've seen. Stephen Cowie is another one that's dropped down. Again, same sort of thing. Current ability is still very low. See, he's starting to progress now, but he should have progressed a lot more than he did. Especially, he's still got that 5-star potential, so he will go up to the under 21s at some point. But I'm just disappointed with these two. Isaac Jones, as you can see, he's already going. So we're just going to gloss over him. He's not got the potential anyway. Jake Davis, we spoke about. Jarvis. Gonzalo is going to go as well. We're just going to gloss over him. There's his stats if you want to see them. And who else have we got? Ruben Jeffries has made it back down into the under 18s. He's not progressed as much as I would like. He's starting to progress now. He's back in the under 20 in the under 18s. He will make it up to the under 21s for next season. And we'll just see how he develops from there. We are going to train him to play on this right-hand side, so he cuts in a little bit. And maybe that'll help improve him. And Niall, we've already spoke about. So that's the under 18s. Let's go to the under 21s, because we have a few players in here that are not in the under 18s. We've got Matt Carr. In fact, Matt Carr's the only one looking at this. So, Matt Carr. Oh, where do we go with Matt Carr? He's not developed as well as I'd have liked. As you can see, he's on a slow. He's just up and down, up and down, up and down. He's not really doing anything much. He hasn't really got pace. He hasn't really got anything really going for him. Somehow he's been playing up top at some point when I'm training him as a central defender. Do I think he's going to make the first team? No, I do not. I think there's way too many ahead of him now. And I don't think he will ever. See, he's right down here. Look how many men are ahead of him. Even newer boys are ahead of him. I don't think Matt Carr's ever going to make it. I think he will probably leave as well at some point. I think that's pretty much your update. I don't think there is anything else. Dynamics-wise, we're very good. Club atmosphere has dropped ever so slightly. But that will go back up, and that goes up and down over the course of the season. Hierarchy-wise, everyone supports me pretty much. The main boys support me anyway. And you can see we've got a couple of our youngsters starting to come up now into influential players. And I think Anton's going to make that jump as well very soon, provided he doesn't leave in the next transfer window. Happiness-wise, we're relatively happy across the board. Staff-wise, we're superb across the board. We have been developing our coaches. Our coaches have been developing very well. You can sort of see, like, these are not your standard coaches down at this level. You know what I mean? They're starting to improve now. And, you know what I mean? Ed Palmer, okay, he was a player for us 2 seasons ago now. There you go, 23, 24. He made 37 appearances for us. We're now in 26. He was one of our better players, and a player I wish I'd kept for longer. But obviously, he's 34 years old now, and he has developed into a decent coach. He does have Continental B license. He's studying for Continental A, so he's actually a better qualified coach than what I am. But I think he's going to be a superb little coach, and I will definitely be looking to keep him on. We only have the one scout. He is only scouting the next team. That is all that's happening there. And then obviously we have our physios and sports scientists and whatever else. Medical-wise, we're doing all right. Injury season summary. We had quite a few injuries, but nothing too major. As you can see, most time missed this season was 7 weeks, which, to be fair, is really good. I'd take that. So, going into next season, what I'm planning to do for next season is we need to improve this points tally. But we need to realise that this formation was too gung-ho. And that maybe we need to go back to a back four. So, I'm going to go back to a back four. I'm going to keep 2 defensive midfielders here, I think. I'm going to go an advanced playmaker, inside winger. Maybe a winger here. And just a single striker. So we're going to have a back four. So it is going to be the 4-2-3-1. It's going to be very similar to this. Except maybe we'll have these down as... We're going to have these down as defensive midfielders. Maybe put this one on support. We're going to have him as maybe like... attacking midfielder, maybe an advanced playmaker. Wing back support. Maybe we'll put a wing back on attack on this side because he's more defensive. Maybe we'll do that. We'll have him cut in. We'll have him go up the wing. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll do something like that. I don't know yet. I don't know what we're gonna do next season. Maybe we moved it. Maybe we move one of these him across here, maybe, or him across here, whichever way. Maybe we force him a bit higher up and put him up there, like sort of thing. I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do it. I haven't quite decided how we're gonna do it. Maybe we do this sort of thing instead. I don't know how I'm going to do it. We're going to do something along these lines. And we'll adjust this accordingly. Because we want to still be able to score goals. We still want to push Rooney forward and get some goals. But at the same time, we've got to make sure we're a bit more solid defensively here. So we'll see how it goes next season. But apart from that, I think that is going to end today's episode. If there is anything else you would like to see in Season 4's episode that I've missed, maybe in Season 3's episode, then please let me know. Please let me know. Drop it in the comments. Like the video. Comment on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. To carry on watching the Truro episode. There will be a Season 4 episode next Sunday. Hopefully I can get that done in time for you guys. And yeah, that's it. I hope you have a good day, everyone.